You might be hurting yourself there for a moment, sir.
Oh, I can't remember math now. What is math?
What is math?
How is math?
How
Why
is
is math?
math? What are we doing on this planet now? I see stars.
Uh-huh. Oh man, oh man.
Let me set up the tweet thing with the stuff.
Yeah.
Was it a busy day?
Yeah, it was. I had an interview for a promotion that I know I won't get, but that's okay because at least I
Yeah.
got the interview. So yeah, it was early start and a long day.
That is not fun ever. Hopefully we can make it relatively easy on you. This topic is not one that's gonna like wreck us to the core at least. So I hope not. We might dig up
Yeah,
some deep dark thing in somebody's
we
past
might.
that might just
Yeah.
go into a place we didn't expect. But but we've got what we've got, folks. There it is.
Yep. You never know. You never know what might touch off, someone in somewhere deep in their past where something happened to them. I know, every once in a while it'll happen to me. We'll say something in the show and I'll just go off on a little tangent about something that happened to me back in the past. So
You'll be like,
yeah.
yeah,
And that
chat room,
reminds me of things.
Chat room, I'm tweaking a couple settings here. Just let me know if the balance sounds off between Mark Conan and me. I boosted my volume just a tad, so let me know if there's anything in there that sounds different. I know you guys are here. I see you.
I just can't see. I can't see any chatting. Nobody's
I
chatting.
know they're there. I see them. They're in there. We in the fam.
Yep.
Hey, Drethin. Welcome.
Welcome.
We in here, yo, fam.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Once
awesome.
once we start the show again, I'll drop another link to the Tauren Think Tank Blizzard group thingy and the social thing in the launcher.
Sweet. Yeah, I saw that when I was logged in earlier, and that was really cool. Hi, WoW challenges. Hi, Bim. Sounds good, balanced. Awesome. Go back to lurking.
Sweet. So we're doing something different. This is not Skype.
Yes, this is not Skype.
We want some feedback because this is not Skype. We have left Skype behind to try something new tonight, and we're hoping it works well. And you guys are the ultimate feedback, so we want to see your feedback about
So
this.
far, so good. Like his video quality is a lot better. I don't have much skippy audio from you anymore.
Good.
So that's good.
Good.
And so rip Skype is what I'm going to say is
Yeah.
rip Skype. Maybe not so much peace, but
Yeah. Some choice 4-letter words.
yeah. It was a long run. It was a long run using Skype for this show. So, but
It's been a long road.
I don't even know that there's any more words than that. Are there?
There is. That was the Star Trek Enterprise.
Oh, there are more words to it. Okay.
It's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time. Oh, wait, it's been a long something, but my time is finally near. Sun. I don't remember.
Sun. Yeah.
Sun.
Yeah, the video is much better. So
Good.
the one thing about this, what we're using is zoom.us, and it's free if it's 2 people. So if it's 2, we're good. If we have more than 2, then it's considered a group call, and then you have to start paying for it. So just letting you guys know what we're using. And if we start going into more guests format in there too, maybe we'll mention the Patreon a little bit more to help with the monthly costs. Maybe. I mean, I'll just wind up taking it out of the Patreon if we have to go that route. But
yeah.
Does Discord work with video calls? Yes, but it does not play well with the Focusrite Scarlet that both Marconin and I have. So it's the interface between our microphone and our computer. and it will. I get really crackly audio. Everyone tells me I'm super quiet. I've got everything boosted, and I can't fix that in Discord. And if we were to go to something like a guest who isn't a gamer, Discord is not the way to go, because they are not going to try to figure out how to get into Discord and then try to do a Discord video. What was that interface? It's zoom.us. I've put it in the chat for you. It's actually pretty cool. And there's the group plan. So like I'm the host of the call. And so like I would pay the fee for it. The one that's buggy with Discord. It's a Focusrite. Scarlett 2i2. That's what we both have to connect our microphones, and it does not play well with I think the Focusrite, actually, the issue that we have with it is that the drivers are old and we can't update them because they don't make the drivers for this anymore. So
yeah, I did install the drivers again when we were having the audio issues like a month ago, and so that kind of helped fix it, I think. But still, yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand what it is about Discord in particular that is the problem. I don't know, but it's like that's the only place where people are like, Jules, you're so quiet. I can't hear you. I've got you boosted 200%. And I'm like, everything is up. Like, my gain is way up. It's like, come on, guys. I don't understand Discord. So, yeah. So we're trying Zoom, and Zoom has been working pretty well. And I pointed Jocelyn to it the other day. So, and I pointed Brian and Seven from Nerf This to it the other day. So it's like, I think this might be something good. Especially the video quality. I'm just happy with how good the Marconin looks on the video.
Well, thank you. I try.
I've been working out.
Yeah, I haven't. We'll just pretend I have.
Hi, Winchester. Well, the one thing that we cannot do is allow Marconin to hear the sounders right now. So you guys will hear it. He will. I know we're back to this again. But we're going to work on this. We're going to figure this out. I mean, these are all little icky growing pains, but it's all for the beta. It's all the betterment of the show. That's how I look at it.
Yep.
It's the show betterment. So, chat room, we're going to do this. Oh, that's quiet. We're going to do that. Hang on.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That should be better. Why are you so quiet? I think my cat was staring on my keyboard again and knocked my volume down.
Ruh-roh.
That little booger. He woke me up last night somewhere around 2 a.m, biting my nose. Just nipping at my nose, wanting attention. I got up. I was like, and I had taken a melatonin last night because I haven't been sleeping so great. And so I was like, screw it. I'm taking a melatonin so I actually sleep tonight. And so he wakes me up. I stumble out of bed do you need food? No, he doesn't need food. He just wants attention. It's like, he just comes around every once in a while like that, 2 a.m. Mom! So.
Love you. Pet me.
Mom, please. Mom, please. Like, come on now. Hey, guess what? It's episode 280. 280.
Ooh. 20 more till 300.
Wow.
Yikes.
20 more weeks, people. 20 more weeks. All right. Chat room's ready.
Ought to do like a little cool intro or something for it. Because I've got half a year to plan for it.
Get on it now.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we'll be a week out. Marcona will be like, yeah, nope, I got it. It'll only take me 100 hours. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't need to sleep. I took a week off from work. Let's do this. I am ready. All right, we'll be ready by that point.
They all have their think tank hats on. I love it. You're going to make a Sparta reference for the show this week for 280? Oh, in 20 weeks.
No,
gotcha.
for 300, yeah.
300!
We'll
there
have
you go.
to,
There's your theme right there. Just do a This Is Sparta episode.
That's kind of what I thought of doing.
Yeah. Just take a bunch of our laughs and just be like, it's just that we have so many of them. So you can go out there and grab that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Hey, I'm ready too. All right.
All right.
All right. This is Triple D. Yeah, Think Tank hats. That's absolutely
Think
true.
Tank hats.
Episode 280 begins in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 280 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, August 9th, 2018. It's 8:09 p.m. 8:09. Look at that. I put it right on the nose, too. That's pretty awesome. My name is Jules, and with me, as always, is the man who's looking at me like I'm insane right now, because I might kind of be. It's Mark Conan.
You say that as if it's a bad thing. It may not be bad to be insane. That's where all the money is. That's where all the risk takers and the rule breakers and the dream makers go.
Well, then I think it's clear that we can say I am definitely insane.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Because that's where my brain is at right now. It's the dreaming and the making and the doing and the throwing the cautions to the winds. So the winds is
Perfect.
Yes. We'll get to that in a minute. So we're back, and we have a show, and we have a show that it contains a letter from one of you lovely listeners, which is always amazing. So, but first, we start out every show with giving you guys an update about what's going on in the lives of Jules and Mark Conan, because some would arguably say that it's one of their favorite things about the show is finding out what's going on with the two crazy hosts, the two insane hosts. And in tradition, Mark Conan will always go first. So we'll ask Mark Conan to go first. What has happened in your life in the last 7 days?
Well, it is pretty appropriate that we've said insane a few times at the beginning of the show, because on Sunday, I did, in fact, become insane in the membrane in World of Warcraft. I finally finished that grind. It is done. Over.
And now you are literally able to say that you are Mark Conan the Insane.
Yes, I am Mark Conan the Insane, among many other titles. But that was one of the most hard-fought ones, is to just get through it and try and finish that Ravenholt part. But, it wasn't so bad, but it was just a lot of grinding, a lot of farming lockboxes. And so I'm just glad it's over. And now I had a week to just enjoy playing WoW before the expansion hits on Monday evening and or Tuesday, depending on if you already have it pre-ordered. So I've had some nice WoW downtime, just leveling up some alts. I've got my Lightforged Draenei up to 90. So now he's chilling in Draenor for a little bit. I'm going to try and get him to 110 before Battle for Azeroth hits on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can do it, maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Let's see what else has been going on. That's kind of the bigger announcement there. Not much else has really gone on in the last week. I did go. It was my wedding anniversary Tuesday, and so for the weekend, my wife and I went up to North Arkansas, and we took a canoe down a river. We went with a few of her friends, so it was a group of about 11, 12 of us, and we went down about 10 miles of this river, and my goodness, my arms were killing me that night, because it was just, the water was low. So we're trying to, before we get down a little bit of the rapids that they have during the river, we're trying to really go fast. And then we just kind of scrape and stop. So then we have to get out of the boat, push it along. And we fell over twice in the river. I lost my glasses. You know, the sunglasses I've worn to BlizzCon for the past 5 years?
I know those glasses.
They're in a river.
No! Oh, no!
Yep, they're gone.
Some fish is going to be wearing your glasses now.
Yep. They're down there. Luckily, nothing else got lost or anything. All of our valuables were in these like watertight bags that were strapped to the boat. So we went over, finally got up, finally got all the water dumped out of the canoe, went about maybe 100 feet, hit another rapids, and then tipped over the other way.
No.
So,
This doesn't sound like fun.
It wasn't.
At least he's honest. I mean, it really doesn't sound like you were having a blast there.
Well, not that part. But it was nice. We spent the whole day out on the river. We ate lunch there. We spent about 6 hours total going down this river. But other than my arms really hurting a lot, like they were sore for 2 days after that because of just the constant rowing. But I mean, overall, it was a good time. After that, we all went back to the cabins that we were staying in. We had a cookout. So just a lot of food, a lot of friends, a lot of fun. So that part was great. But falling over in the river a couple of times, I will say that the water was nice and cool.
You're looking for the bright side. I see it. You're just
I'm looking for the bright side. But yeah, no, overall, it was a fun time. But yeah, it was fun. But yeah, we did that over the weekend. And then when I got home, I finished the Insane title. So had a crazy weekend, finished that. And then on Monday, I took Pixie to the vet. She's my tortoiseshell cat. And did a lot of blood work for her to test out why she's been losing weight lately. And the vet told me, they're like, the big things are, kidney problems, diabetes, or hyperthyroid. And he came back with the blood work and he's like, her thyroid levels are a little too high. So I've got some medicine to put her on for a month. You've caught it really early. So she's, I mean, other than that, she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
She's a really, she's still energetic and everything. She's just starting to lose some weight. And so I have to give her some medicine twice a day. I did that right before the show. The good thing is I can crush the pill up and put it with wet cat food. And my girls usually eat just the dry cat food. So this is like a special treat that she gets. So she just gobbles it up. So it helps that it does that. And the doc just, the vet's got another appointment for her in about 3 weeks. So just go in there and retest her, see how her levels are doing. And, should still have her for a good long while. But yeah, I'm kind of relieved at that. I was really worried because last time one of my cats started dropping weight, it was kidney failure and she wasn't around much longer. So
yeah,
I'm glad I caught this pretty early. Still might take Reese in, take my black cat in, just have her looked at, just to check over. They haven't been to the vet in a while because they're healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just want to nip it in the bud, just like I did with Pixie. So those are really only the big things that have gone on for me.
Yeah.
I know you have a big thing drop yesterday. Was it yesterday or Tuesday?
Today.
It was today. That's right.
Today.
It's today.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's right. Because I remember seeing it on Facebook this morning. So yeah, that's right. So yeah, tell us what all's going on in Jules Land this week.
Yeah. So the cool podcasting news is, and I talked about this last week, is that the first episode of Heroes News with Jules Scott has released, and it released today, in collaboration with heroeshearth.com. And it was super exciting and a little like it was not easy to do this. It was not. I have actually never done a solo show before. This is, in the 6 years I've been podcasting, I've never done a solo voice show. And so it took a lot of preparation and a lot of time just making sure that I did it right. I nabbed an interview with Holoran, who is one of the casters this time for the Western Clash that starts tomorrow. So I had to add that in, balance it all because he had a really loud microphone in, kind of like comparison to mine. His was really loud. And so, yeah. So it was like editing, balancing, getting everything to just kind of sound consistent, and plan the show from start to finish, and then try to work in my personality when I don't have someone else sitting right across from me.
Yeah, and that can be very, very tough.
It's not easy. Like I challenge you guys to have pretend that you are doing a podcast and make it sound interesting for someone to listen to, that it doesn't sound like you're reading a script. It is not as easy as it sounds.
No.
So yeah, it's been awesome. I had a blast this whole week making it and putting it together. and the response has been awesome. Like so nice. People have been so complimentary. Workhorse, who is the owner of Heroes Hearth, he's like, I'm putting it up on Reddit, and I went I had a moment where I'm like, shit, it's going on Reddit? Are you sure?
Oh.
And he's like, yeah. So he puts it up on Reddit, and I'm like, I don't want to look. And everybody was super kind so far. I mean, usually what happens with Reddit is you get like, if the response is nice early on, then it's going to be nice for a while, and then the haters start coming in like later. So we got the nice part. We'll probably have some of the haters coming in later, and that's fine.
Yeah, they're always late to the party. Just show up.
So I was just like, okay, this was a really awesome, and people were just like, it was called it professional, which was like, yes, and that's a cool first outing. And there were things that I would want to do better, some editing type of things that I need to do better, but it was great for me to learn on this first outing. And I'd actually done a pilot episode, like a full-on, like never published pilot episode, just to try it out, and then like kind of like comparing it to the other one, it was like, oh yeah, this was a lot better than what I did early. It was just like, it's a lot better than that. So yeah, that's awesome. You can actually go out to heroeshearth.com and see it there. I am still waiting for iTunes to approve it. I had put it out there last week, and iTunes took 5 days, and then they rejected it and gave me no reason why they rejected it. So I went to go resubmit it, and it couldn't. So I emailed their support, and they said, they still didn't tell me why they rejected it, but they said I had to submit a brand new RSS feed. And I'm like, come on. So I had to redo the show in the host and get a new RSS feed to submit to iTunes, but the old one was out there still, and a bunch of people had subscribed to it. And I'm like, grr. So it's been kind of a mess. But iTunes is still waiting for approval on the second one, hopefully tomorrow. And then it will make a lot of things easier to find it. But if you go to heroeshearth.com, the player is embedded in there, and there is a way for you to find the RSS feed. And if you don't find it, send me a tweet. I'll send it to you. So, and soon iTunes will have it, and will make it much more searchable. So yay. So that's podcasting news. And then I want to talk a little bit about something else that happened this week that kind of turned the corner for me in some good things. So, I haven't been shy about telling people I've been looking for a job, because I don't have one anymore. And I had gotten a phone interview from a place here in Minnesota, in St. Paul, actually. And they did a phone screen, and then they invited me in for an interview, and told me that it's a 3-step process. That it's the phone interview, in-person interview, and like you, they'll bring you in and you talk to more people. So I went in for the second interview on Tuesday. I was a little nervous because I was like, I don't know what to wear. It's a tech startup, and they're like all casual, and what do I wear? And so I had to go buy a new outfit, and I going on Twitter, I'm like, help me, ladies, I don't know what to do. So I wound up finding this kind of cool, it was the perfect outfit. It really was. It worked out really good. And I was in the interview, and they were a great company. They were, just it's cool, downtown office, super hip. They have this brand new, really cool idea that they're developing, and they've raised a bunch of funds from different, people funding them. And plus they're building and growing and announcing new things. And I was sitting in the interview, and I'm just like, I don't want this job. Oh, there's the siren going by. I don't know if you can hear that. It's pretty loud. I said, I don't want this job.
You told him that during the interview?
No, I didn't. But in my head,
okay. In your head, okay.
And as I'm having the conversations with them, and I'm just I'm listening to what they're saying about what the job is, and it was just kind of this revelation that hit me. It's just like, I don't want to go back to working in an office again. I don't want to do this again. That's not my dream. It's not what I'm after. It's not what I know I can do. And I walked, thanked them. They were super nice. Like one of the guys who I was talking to, like he said he was playing Overwatch earlier in the office. So we had a great conversation about Overwatch. I mean, they could have been a really good fit. And I was just like, it was like this moment of clarity that hit me. And I was just like, I've been so desperately, worried about not having a job and, how that feels. And I've talked about this a little bit, about this like negative connotation of like, oh, you're unemployed. Ooh, whisper, you're unemployed. And that's terrible. And it's not any fault of my own that this happened,
No.
but it still has this negative, like, bad and identity, grifter, living on the government, blah, 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 like feeling that I've had in my head. And I've just been like this desperate feeling of like, I gotta find something. I have to find something. And, obviously I need it for being able to kind of do the things I want to do. But it was just like, I have so many things that I'm doing right now that have the potential of turning into something really amazing. And I've been so bogged down in my head, like really dark, negative, ugly feelings and thoughts about just, things. And I walked out of that office and it was like, I just dropped all of that. It all went away. And I'm like, you know what you have to do, Jules. You have to chase this. You have to go after this. You have to fight for what you want. And you got to work your ass off to do it. And you might have to make some sacrifices along the way. But, no more feeling sorry for yourself. And after I got home and I was like, I just literally could have, because I knew they liked me. I knew that they really thought I was a good fit for them. And I had one of those moments where I was just like, I'm going to walk away from this and I'm not going to feel bad about it in the slightest.
Yeah.
It was like, but it was so cool to drop that negative energy and to drop that feeling of failure. And I don't know. It's just like, I hope I'm explaining this right. It's just like this feeling like I failed by losing my job. That's how it's been feeling for me. It's like I had this major sense of failure. And
well, it's kind of like, you're being pulled along by a boat in the water, like you're skiing or something. And then all of a sudden you lose the rope and now you're just treading water in this deep water and you don't have anything to hold on to. You don't have any of this bit of stability and you're feeling this, I should have this stability. Why am I not fighting for it? But now you've realized you can make your own stability,
Yeah. Like I actually am in the position. I mean, it's going to take a ton of effort and work and ideas and things, but that I am in the possible position to build my own stability. That's a great way to put it. Mm-hmm. And
well, I know you can do it. If either of us can do it, I know you can do it. I'm not so sure about me, but I know you can.
Well, and it's just this, it was just this moment of like, jump for your dreams and go after it and don't stop. And putting this podcast out was just one of those moments where it was just like, it like took me by the hand and it was like, I literally had a moment where I was just like, I was afraid to do it. And it was just like, here, you must do this. You have to do this. This is something you must do. I know you're scared, but you're doing it anyway. And it wasn't even me who was controlling that. And so, yeah, I've been in a dark place for, it's August 9th, 2 months, 2 months or so of just like fighting through, like, sitting down and doing this show and just every ounce of energy that I have to try to be positive and upbeat and happy when it wasn't that way. And it was like, wow, like it turned so much into like 2 days ago. It turned, and I've just I downloaded this mood tracker that I actually started like the day before I went to the interview. And it was like, I wish that I had that data beforehand just to kind of see the change. Because, I wanted to, somebody mentioned it on their Facebook page. And so I was like, oh, mood tracker, that sounds like a cool idea. Like, let's try this. So, yeah. So in any case, I'm a little babbly about it, but I can't even put into words how much better I feel. And maybe you guys notice it and maybe you don't, but I feel better. And that's probably the best message I can put out there. I feel better.
I feel better.
I feel better. I do.
There you go, Draven. I served you one up hot and fresh for your list.
Yeah. I mean, it's so good. It's like when you just like, I feel better. Yeah. So it was cool. And so I sent them a note today. I hadn't heard from the interview yesterday. So I sent them a note this afternoon. I waited till like after lunch, hadn't heard anything. And I just let them know that I was going to pursue other opportunities. And I thanked them very much for their time. And they responded back and wished me well. And it's like, all right, Jules, let's do this.
There you go.
Let's do this. So I don't know what this is. I'm still figuring that out, but I have some ideas. And I'm going to keep working on them. So yeah.
That's what you got to do.
That's what you got to do. Yeah. That whole thing about supporting yourself. It's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah. So that's my update from the last 7 days. Mark Honan has had his, and now we tackle something of yours. We're going to do a listener letter, which means it's Think Tank time, and here's the sounder.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It's Think Tank time. We're going to sort it out, and we're doing it right now. This is a listener letter that goes like this. Hi, Jules and Mark Honan. Nymeria here with a discussion topic for the show that I've been thinking about lately. I was kind of nervous to write in, but I think we could benefit from talking about this as a community, and that is boundaries. In therapy and regular life, we hear a lot about the importance of boundaries, how they help us have healthy relationships, good work-life balance, etc. We learn it's important to communicate what our boundaries are so that we can get along better with others and avoid misunderstandings. So why does it seem that whenever I assert those boundaries, they aren't respected? Let me give you 2 examples of this from my life. One of my boundaries with my mom is that I want her to not pressure me into going to church / doing religious activities with the family. I've told her this on multiple occasions. A little background, my entire family is Catholic and I'm the only person in my nuclear family who doesn't practice. I've explained to her my reasons for not wanting to be involved in the church anymore and have stood my ground through some pretty nasty fights. Still, she makes these very passive-aggressive comments about how she thinks I should be acting. She sends me religious material in the mail. I've tried to find other ways to connect with her to some degree of success, but it's very hurtful when she tries to make me feel ashamed and guilty for asserting that boundary. Second example is work. I'm making a transition from a retail job to working full-time in theater. I've told my bosses I'm only available to work a certain schedule, which they said was okay when they hired me. Now they're trying to keep me on the schedule for weeks after I told them I was leaving the job and scheduled me for times we agreed I wouldn't be asked to work. I want to be a team player and everything, but I can't stretch myself this thin trying to please them and do my theater work, which is my life's dream. This job has already taken such a toll on my mental health, and while I understand everyone has to make sacrifices, I feel like my bosses are walking all over me and taking advantage of the fact that I'm always cheerfully willing to go the extra mile at work. I guess this is a very roundabout way of asking. What's your advice when people don't respect the boundaries you've clearly communicated to them? How do you cope with the mental distress of wanting to please people and help them out, but also needing to live your own life? /Moo from Nymeria. Oh, this one's good. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's a lot of, she gave some really good examples too. And they're two very different types of boundary violations.
Yeah.
So I, as I always do, I'm going to start with you and get your initial opening thoughts on what you saw in this letter.
Well, let's see here. So, like you said, there's two very different flavors of boundaries. One's more personal and the other one is professional. On the personal one, yeah, that can be very, very hard to do when it comes to close family wanting you to be involved in religious activities with them, and you possibly have a different belief or a different level of belief, level of wanting to practice, actively be around in the church. Maybe it's, I believe, but I don't want to, I don't really feel comfortable going, as far as, I was raised Pentecostal. And that's the running around, dancing, speaking in tongues. One small fraction does the snake handling, which that was not what I was a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And it always made me kind of nervous and kind of feel weird when people were speaking in tongues around me, which, is fine. It's how they wanted to practice. I never did. Didn't feel it was a requirement, never felt the presence or the spirit or anything to do that, so that's fine. And, I don't diss anybody that's how they want to practice or anything like that. So there's some even Christian things that I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'll stay home. That's fine. I'm comfortable where I'm at in this part, and I'll just meet you on other parts.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of depends on what the level of difference in, belief is between the mom and the daughter. So that kind of, I can kind of speak to that a little bit because I've had a little bit of experience with that.
Well, then let's dig into that one first, I think.
Okay.
Let's dig into that one a little bit first. Because this is a very there's a lot of people out there who can attest that they've dealt with similar types of things with people in their family. And what it comes down to, in my opinion, is that there is a lack of respect from her mom for her opinions.
Mm-hmm.
That her mom does not respect your stance on the religion and that you don't want to participate, and feels that it is either her responsibility or her duty to convert you back. And
yeah.
And I'm coming from a place where I was not raised Catholic, but I have some points of reference for it. There's like, I believe, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's a feeling like you're not a good Christian if you're not trying, or not a good Catholic if you are not trying to bring your family into the religion as a whole. Like, you failed if members of your family have rejected your religion.
Well, it's one of the things that, in the belief structure, if you don't believe, well, you're not going to join me in the afterlife. You're going to go somewhere else.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
And it's one of those things like, do you want your loved ones to go there, or do you want them to be in heaven with you? When you break it down, like, that's the main reason people like, hey, do you want to go to this thing with me? They're trying to, in their mind, it's like they're on the lifeboat and you're in the freezing water, and they've got their hand out to you to bring you in, to save you from this, what this is in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So come on the religious side, like, technically, structurally, doctrinally, that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, in their heads, that's a good reason. If you were in that same analogy, if you were the person in the boat trying to save people, you'd want as many in the boat as you could.
Yeah.
Now, the way you handle that is a whole other bag of cats. The way that you would try and, I'll use the terminology, witness to people. The way you try to bring people into the faith if they want to be. I'm of the belief that if you want to, you want to, or if you want to, if the Spirit speaks to you, it speaks to you. If not, that's fine. It's your own life. You can live it however you want to. I'm here if you have questions, or I'll talk. That kind of thing. That's my approach.
Okay.
And and my mom does she does invite people. She does send me stuff, which, I appreciate because I'm already, there. So that kind of reminded me of some of the stuff that I'd seen before. But I have had friends who are 100% reverse direction of the religion. It's, and I kind of wince sometimes because I sympathize, like, yeah, it's almost like the kind of cringe compilations you see sometimes. You're like, that's just, it makes me feel uncomfortable how some religious people can be like, whoa, in your face with it, and it's how do you really want to be this? Sometimes you need a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. Sometimes you need a bouquet of flowers versus a sledgehammer. There's different approaches for all of that, but it's also about respect. And that's, if somebody wants to hear, if someone's curious, if someone has questions or wants to talk or debate or whatever, that's showing that they at least want to converse in that space or kind of be near it. But if Nymeria does not want to be near the space, it's a hard pill to swallow for a parent. They would feel like they have failed if they brought up a child in the church and they left, which most kids do. They want to rebel. But if that person, when they're adult, does, they still feel like they have maybe failed a little bit, that they hadn't, hadn't kept them in the flock, as it were.
Yeah.
So, at least from the mom's point of view, I can see that she's trying to reach her daughter, and maybe she doesn't, the daughter doesn't want to be met. She doesn't want to meet halfway or anything, and that's fine. And it's a hard pill for parents to swallow. But when it comes to that point, you got to remember they're an adult. They can do their own thing.
Yeah. And that's the part that's difficult, is that it's clearly stated that she's made very strong arguments of why she does not want to be there. And it's falling on deaf ears. And that is, I think that's the hardest part of all of it, is when you are saying, this is how I feel. This is what I believe. This is what I, in my core, stand behind. And your parent turns to you and says, I don't respect that. Maybe not in words, but in actions. Yeah. And it's not, and honestly, like, I see this all the time where people will say one thing and do another. Like, trust their actions. Like, if they say to you, I'm going to totally back you up 100%. And then they're sending you stuff in the mail about religion. They're making you feel bad or saying things that make you feel guilty that you aren't attending. Like, trust the actions as the person's intent most of the time, because that is going to tell you where their heart is. And that's hard. And so when you say, these are my boundaries, I do not want to attend these religions. I'm sorry that that's hurting you. I don't want to attend that event. I don't want to be a part of this. But this is what I believe in. Like, how do you get a parent to say, okay, I respect you. I respect you as a person, as a woman, as an adult who makes her own decisions. That's something you can't control. Like,
yeah, Well, and if we have any parents in the chat, we would love if you would chime in, because neither of us have kids, at least not human kids. We have fur babies, and so I am not a parent. I cannot speak to how I would feel if it came to this. It's easy for us to say, oh, well, you should just respect your daughter's wishes. Well, this is not someone that I brought into this world and raised from complete inability to do anything till being a fully fledged grown person who is fending for themselves. I can't really tell on their side what to do or how to feel, but it comes to the where you have to come to the realization that the parents have to realize that the child will do what they want to do, especially because Nymeria is an adult. She can do whatever she wants. And that's a very, very hard pill to swallow. Sometimes parents never swallow that pill completely.
No, because they will view it as a failure on their part, that they didn't do their job, that they didn't raise their kid correctly. But I think that it's a view. I know my dad is lurking in the chat room, and I don't know, but one of the things that, like, I've definitely done things in my life that my parents did not agree with or think that was the right decision for me. But so the way they've always handled it is they've always told me how they felt about it. But they've always, once I was an adult, it was always the response of you're grown up. You're going to make your own decisions. This is what we would do, which is not really in line with what you're going to do. But we respect you and we'll love you anyway. Doesn't matter. We love you no matter what. And sometimes my decisions where I turn around and go, yeah, they were probably right. But it was that moment where it was like, I had to make those choices myself in order to learn. And and the religion thing is something that is also part of my life. My parents are Jewish and I was raised Jewish, and I chose as an adult not to choose to follow any religion for my own purposes and my own reasoning. And we had some back and forths on some of that early on because it was, I understood that it was bothering them that I wasn't wishing them, Happy Hanukkah or Happy New Year on Rosh Hashanah or things like that. And so I tried to make a more of an effort as an adult to mark it on my calendar, because even though I'm not observing it, they are.
And it's they're respecting your decisions just as much as you're respecting their decision, and you're trying to kind of meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And I think that's
it was a constant, we had to work on that. We had to work on making sure that we met in the middle. And sometimes they expressed their displeasure with me or my decisions, that I didn't wish them a Happy New Year. Or you forgot this. And it's you're right. I did. And, but when I was younger, I was so kind of because I had decided that it wasn't what I wanted to do or what I wanted to observe, it was I literally just went and I shoved it backwards, as far away from me as possible, because acknowledging it would mean that I was, possibly giving in. And it wasn't the case. I was being a stupid kid, honestly, because I wasn't respecting their wishes and what was important to them, whereas they were respecting the fact that I made my own choices. So there is a part of it that meets in the middle for that. But at the same time, there probably needs to be a discussion between you and your mom, and where it's literally a discussion of Mom, why don't you respect how I feel about the Catholic faith? I just and it's not about an accusatory way. It is literally a fact-finding mission. Why do you not respect how I feel about it, my decision? And to try to understand what it is that, my guess is that what we said earlier is that she feels like she failed.
Yeah.
As a parent.
That's one of the biggest ones to point to. So that's kind of what I'm figuring on as well. And like Joel said, be very delicate when you talk to her if this is what you choose to do, because it can easily come off in an accusatory fashion. And just remind your mom, hey, I am not here. I do not want to fight. I'm honestly just trying to figure out what it is that has been bothering you about this, and we can talk. And I'll send you a Christmas card, or for an Easter, or for whatever, we'll figure something out, we'll go do something, maybe not go to church, but afterwards we'll go somewhere,
and
whatever you would feel comfortable with, if you guys get to that point, maybe there's something, just like Joel said, she'll wish them, salutations and all the stuff on all these holidays. Maybe that's something you can do, or go, I don't know, go see a Christmas pageant or something, or it's not, there could be some little thing that you can kind of meet in the middle, where it's not like a Sunday service or Saturday service, excuse me. Or, maybe there's a play and you can go see a play or something, something where it's not fully one way or fully the other. That way you can kind of,
there's a line, right?
Yeah, there's a line. Yeah, absolutely. There's a line. She can, come out, exactly meeting in the middle, coming from her side to the middle and you from your side to the middle. There's give on both sides for sure.
Yeah.
But there's take on both sides. So you do get that distance, but it would, like we say in the little bumper, call your mother. You gotta at least respect your parents. I know that that doesn't necessarily mean that they would respect you, but it's a good way to start the conversation and to try and get that to where they will respect your decisions. And and I know you respect your parents too. So just kind of meet in the middle there and really, hopefully they will be able to put forth the effort to give you that space. And then whenever they come to that part, you can give in a little bit every once in a while, not fully indulge in everything that they would want you to do, but every once in a while, something small, showing that you respect them and their design, their beliefs and desires, and they can respect yours as well by maybe not sending you literature every week or whatever it is. Hey, can you just not do that one, because that one, like, you're bringing stuff into my house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming into my mailbox or into the door slot or whatever, what have you. It's invasive. It feels invasive. And I mean, that's just me thinking from an objective point of view, even though I wouldn't mind it if say if there was another thing like, the National Satanist Organization was sending me stuff and I told them not to. That's like a polar opposite.
It's so
and I'm
passive
like, hey,
aggressive. It's literally just so you need a reminder, here's a religious pamphlet that I'm going to put in the mail and mail to you that I'm hoping that you'll read and say something to me about. Like, that's so passive aggressive.
That stuff can be super cringy. I will admit that.
No, don't do it. Like, I mean,
yeah.
And the passive comments about not going to church and like that's the kind of thing where it's like, you're not stating what you're doing. You're just kind of like making snide comments and then expecting someone to respond. Like, what people don't realize is it shoves that other person away. It literally does not help. It does not help. So the one thing I think you nailed something earlier, and I wanted to just touch on that, is when in these discussions, if that discussion does happen, it is coming from a place of help me understand. And I actually do use those terms when I'm having a conversation with somebody that could possibly turn into the defensive side. Like, why do you not respect my feelings? That I literally use the words, help me understand how you feel.
Yeah, that's an easier way to phrase it. Yeah. Help me understand, as opposed to why don't you respect me? Well, help me understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, because it is literally that kind of thing where I'm on a fact-finding mission. I'm trying to see where your perspective is, and it turns more factual instead of defensive some of the time. I mean, there's going to be emotional like reaction to stuff, especially when it comes to the topic of religion. But man, like, give that a try, because I've had some really successful conversations with using the words help me understand, because I don't and I want to. So that's our religion side of this. But let's talk about the work side of this. That's a whole different beast. Like, this is
it really is, yeah.
Same issue. It's respect and not respecting boundaries, but excuse me. So the first thing I read was just quit the damn job.
Yeah, that's the easiest solution, is to just, like, because I know you said they're trying to keep you on the schedule for weeks after you told them you were leaving the job. I mean, you've probably sent in the paperwork. You've probably said, hey, this is when I'm leaving. You've got record of it. Like, hey, I'm not coming back. And I know it can kind of suck, because then the next job will possibly call them and say, well, because they could play the thing like, oh, she didn't quit, she just stopped showing up, so I wouldn't recommend her. See, I don't know the inner office, whatever retail dynamic that you've got in America, but that's a tactic I've known some managers to use. We're like, oh, she didn't quit. Like, we had to fire her because she didn't show up. We scheduled her. She didn't show up. I don't know.
Well, and sounds like what they're doing is they're going against her, their agreed upon terms for her schedule, and then expecting her to just put up or shut up about it because she's nice and she's a team player and wants to try to make everybody happy. And there's a line when it comes to that kind of thing, and it's literally like, I told you this, we agreed upon this, and now this isn't happening, so what are we going to do about it? And if this is the schedule, you got to work the schedule or you don't work here anymore. I think that's it. I don't work here anymore.
Yeah. Well, you said it, so I don't work here anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is a situation where, and work is a very different beast than family, because sometimes the way that managers function, managers are scary sometimes. Like, I've seen some really, really bad managers in my experience to the point where I'm just like, I do not understand how this person got to this position and how they function in day-to-day life acting this way. Like, I don't understand. Like, how does this company still function with this person in charge? Yeah,
it's a mystery to me.
It is. And so where you've got your mom, which is a very, very personal relationship. It has a lot of emotional connection. Business is business when it comes to the way that there's a two-way street. Your employer treats you well and you work hard for them and everybody's happy. You work hard for them and they treat you like crap. Yeah. You don't owe them anything. Like,
no.
You had an agreement that you were going to work for them and do a good job and they would send you money. Like, that's how it works with jobs.
It's a transaction.
It is that's a great way to put it. It's a transaction. And their transaction is pretty shitty right now.
Yeah. Well, you had these agreed upon terms saying that, hey, here's my work schedule. I can work these days, these times. Other than that, I'm not available. Is that okay? They say, yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. And then they turn around and try to get you scheduled. Like, there's really only a couple of ways you can go with it. Of course, we've mentioned quitting at that point. That's like just drop it. Like, okay, I'll get somewhere else that'll actually respect my scheduling. You said you would, but then you wouldn't. So here's my 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not sure how big of a business this is, if it's like a small standalone thing or, who you could talk to above them, because most companies that I've worked for in the US have been like open door policy. If you're not seeing traction on one level, you go to the one above them, CC them on emails. I can't tell you the number of times that mountains have moved when you send a reply back to a supervisor and CC their boss or their boss and their boss's boss on that same email so they can see the history of that. Mountains will move with a short breath of air because they know they're in the hot seat and they need to finally get some stuff moving. It's happened in my work.
Yeah, that only works though.
The next day you get a phone call.
It only works if you're in a big company like yours, though.
It does. It only works at a giant place. But I'm just saying, I'm sure how big where she works is, but if there's that thing, it could, I don't think it could hurt. The worst thing they could do is get onto you or fire you. And you're already like, well, this isn't what I wanted anyway. So later, here we are talking about earlier in the day about having stability, about being employed. And now we're talking about just quit your job.
Well, and I think that's actually a really good, it's actually a good transition to what we were talking about earlier, because a job, there's certain things about, like, when it comes to personality traits, right? So some people live to work. Their job is their identity, their lifeblood. That's what they do. It's what energizes them. Their work is everything. And so that if their job is sucking the life out of them, it's everything being sucked out of them. Like, it's just, I am a live to work person. That is who I am. There is also the other side, which is the work to live person, which is a job for me to get money so that I can do the things that I really want to do with my life. And that's very separate from my life. I work so that I have the money to do the things I want to do. So live to work versus work to live. And when it comes down to a job like the theater work that you want to do, Nymeria, that's like your lifeblood. That's your dream. That's your passion. Like, you would work until you fell over because it's what you want to do. It's like what you dream about.
Mm-hmm.
But this other one, you're just there to get a paycheck. And there's a line that gets drawn to that level of like, what am I willing to put up with?
Yeah, exactly.
To collect that paycheck. And so I realized this about myself a while ago, is that if I have a job that does not fuel me and inspire me, it takes everything out of me and it turns me into a very miserable person. And yet I will overthink and I will stress out because I'm like high work ethic person. So I don't want to like do a bad job or slough off at work, or, I want to be conscientious. And if they're asking me to do stuff, then I'm going to do stuff because that's who I am. And it sounds like that's what she's dealing with right now. Mm-hmm. That I hate this job, but it's in my blood to do it well no matter what. And so if they've scheduled me, I feel it's my moral obligation to work it, even though it's going to wreck me to be able to work that and then go to it's like at that point you're just going to have to just say mentally, no, that's the work to live job. you can draw the lines there. You do. And it's one of those things where once you kind of grasp that concept and understand that it's like the two-way street we talked about earlier, that you don't have to put up with their BS. You don't. Yeah. There's no harm in saying I'm done.
Yeah. And Sylvie said a couple of things in the chat. I think if you do talk to your bosses, get it in writing, even if it's in an email. Yeah. That way you've got your paper trail. So should something shady go on, print out your emails, forward them to your personal email, however that needs to go. And also Sylvie said that a non-inspiring job is a great place to practice being assertive. So, I mean, you've got almost nothing to lose being assertive on this one. So be assertive with your bosses. Like, hey, I know I work hard at this job, but I have this schedule and I just want to understand why you consistently schedule me for shifts that I specifically asked not to work.
And what that we agreed that you were not going to work.
Yeah. And it almost leads to that line we were talking about, like, help me understand why you guys are doing this.
Yeah.
I want to know why you are consistently scheduling me for non-approved shifts that we did not agree to when you hired me. Mm-hmm. Like, you knew this going in that I could not do those. I mean, I would always like it if you would ask me, like if you would ask me, hey, are you available to work this shift? I can say yes or no. Let me be the one to decide that. At least give me that option.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Because right now they're in violation of the agreement that you had, even though it was verbal. It was like, we agreed on this. And so, like if you lock it down to the point where you're saying, hey, like, what's the deal? Why are we doing this? Definitely get that in writing for sure. So that you have the proof to say, this is what we said. Why am I still getting scheduled on days that we said I wasn't going to get scheduled on? This is not what we talked about. And
I mean, do you need to hire somebody else that can work those shifts, or is someone consistently calling in? That doesn't sound like it's my problem.
Right.
I wouldn't say that. I definitely wouldn't say that, but that's just sounding like an a-hole.
Well, you know what though? Sometimes it's just like people, like I've known managers who literally would just be like, we're just going to schedule her for that because I know she's going to work it anyway, even though she said she isn't going to. She'll work it because they don't want to take the time to actually find somebody else to do it. Or, oh, we didn't have time to hire somebody. So, it's just inconsiderate and it's unfair, especially when you've had the conversation and had the agreement. So,
yeah,
just look at it in a perspective of, is this something that I need to have, and how can we come again to the middle? And if it's not that, I mean, like I said, very first thing we both said at the first thing of reading this is like, you just got to quit that job. And it might just be that that's the answer.
Yeah.
But there are some other options for you because we don't know the whole picture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's where it comes to you, Namire. You've got to know where you can push and where you can pull on these. Where you can kind of dig your heels in, and of course listening as well when you do talk to your mom and your bosses, saying, "Hey, help me understand why you're continuously doing this to me."
Exactly.
I want to know. I would like to know why, because I mean, I'm having problems with this. I have a schedule. You understand how I feel about these things already. Why is this still happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, help me understand why you're doing this, because I don't really like it and something needs to change.
Exactly.
And I want to help you make those changes. Like, let's meet somewhere in the middle. You know,
I can't say anything more than that. And when it comes to your personal boundaries in life, and Sylvie said this earlier in the chat room, and I think that that's a very good way to close this out. She said, as a female specifically, I had a really hard time being assertive at work. I just wasn't taught it. Raising my hand here as well, I wasn't good at being assertive and standing up for my boundaries for a long time too, both in work and in life. And it's something that you learn over time and practice, but it's good to continue to practice this, to be able to say, that makes me uncomfortable, that no, I don't want to go to that party because I just don't feel like it.
yes.
I don't know how many times in my life I have done things or participated in things that I didn't want to do, but I did it because I felt like I had to, or that I was obligated to, and if I had just spoken up or been honest about how I felt about things, it would have made my life a whole lot easier. But those conversations are hard and they're scary, and a lot of us don't like confrontation. Me included. Marconin included.
Hi,
Marconin's like waving. Yes, I do not like confrontation. But there are ways to have those conversations without it being considered confrontational. And it comes with practice and trying. The help me understand technique is a good one to practice. It is a way to take off the defensive nature of, I don't know why you do this, or, you know, Marconin, I don't understand why this seems to keep happening all the time. I don't know what this is, but, you know, but, you know, plant the information in the word this and you know what it is. That's the things that we have to do better as people, as, you know, advocates for our own mental health, advocates for our own well-being, is to sit down and say, you know, honestly, I really don't want to go to that party. And I don't really care. Like, it's not anything real reason why. I just don't feel like it. But then I gotta go because I told blah, blah, blah that I was going to go. I'm going to feel bad if I don't. And it's just like, no, it's okay if you don't. Like, you could literally just say, I don't feel like going tonight. I just don't. And yeah, I don't know. There's so many things that we do out of obligation for people, or try to respect other people, or we feel bad, or we're like, I don't want to ruffle any feathers and I don't want to rock the boat. And it's just like, why don't we make ourselves so miserable so often?
There's times where you can, you know, you can go do something like that, but when it's consistent, when you're consistently bending over backwards for others, I think that's where that real problem is, because you're sacrificing too much of yourself for it. You know, there's the odd times when you'll go do something just to kind of, you know, to not to appease somebody, but if they're like, hey, this really means a lot to me, it'd be great if you could be there with me for this. You know, if it's something, you know, you can compromise every once in a while and do the stuff like that. But it's when it becomes habitual, when it's the thing that you do, you always do that.
Yeah.
You know, you're causing this big detriment to yourself, and you're giving too much away. You know, giving too much of yourself away.
And then
it's okay to give a little bit.
Left.
It's good to give away a little bit, but not everything, not all the time.
No, and so we hope that this has helped you, Nymeria. You are awesome. You're a great person. I enjoy you, and I thank you for trusting us with your letter this week. And
we hope it helps, and keep us posted.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I'd love to know, especially in the situation with the, well, actually both of them, is how you handle it and what your results are. Because I think it would be very interesting to see what happens after this conversation. So
absolutely.
We do have So next week we do have another letter for the show, but we do not have any others past that. And we are always open for your letters for discussion topics and or your own think tank scenario questions that need advice. And you can send that to questions@taurenthinktank.com. That's also the email address where you can send your feedback if you would like about anything we talk about on the show. If you want to tell us how amazing we are, because, you know, we always tell you to do that. Marconi looked at me like,
always
Jules.
Being never. Like,
never, ever.
don't email us to brag. Let's come to us with your problems. We want your problems, not necessarily your praise.
No, exactly. This is why slash moves were prohibited on the show for Marconin and me, and you guys break that rule all the time. So,
Sneaky ways.
You are a sneaky bunch of moo crew. I will say that. You are a very sneaky bunch of moo crew. So I think that is our show for the night, Marconin. We have made a show.
We have made a show. We have taken the ingredients, including Nymeria's letter and our template that we use every week for our show notes. And all of you out there that are listening, you've come in, you've joined us live, you're listening to us on all wherever you go, as well as watching us if you do on YouTube. We've all mixed these ingredients together. We have put them in a pan and then put it in the oven for approximately an hour is what we usually do, about an hour cook time. And then when the little thing goes ding, and around the time that the slash moves are over, then we come out and then fresh, hot baked for you, fresh out of the Moo Crew oven is a show.
Are we going to have a record for how long it takes you to boomerang around the topic?
I take the long way around.
You took the scenic route and the road to Pismo Beach, and then...
I did, and I also have not had dinner yet, so I'm a little hungry. So that's why I'm thinking about baking a cake.
Fair.
I would love some food. Right, I've got some food right after the show's over, but...
Fair.
I'm
well,
hungry.
We're gonna wrap this up so you can eat then. I think we have declared this a show, which means that it is now time for you to talk about anything that may be coming up in the next 7 days that you would like people to know about.
Well, of course, the new Battle for Azeroth expansion hits next week, and I'm very excited about it. And one of the cool things that has come around with the pre-patch for it is the kind of the social tab on your Battle.net launcher, which has a Tauren Think Tank group in it, like a community. It's like a Discord server. I'm going to paste the link to it in the chat, but I will also blast that out. This one does not expire. I forgot that the original ones expire. This one's good for 50 users. If you guys want to join in, you can see what games we're playing. You can join up with us once Battle for Azeroth starts. You can get groups together with the rest of the Moo Crew. It's more direct way, I guess, than the Discord. I just figured it'd be a kind of cool option. We're talking a little bit about the games and everything. Oh, I see people are popping in and out of the games right now.
That's awesome.
So I'll tweet out the link to that. And if that fills up, I don't know if we'll have 50 people join. I'll just create a new one. It'll be a great way if you guys want to hang out and do some dungeons later. Once Battle for Azeroth we all get up to 120 or what have you. We'll just do that. I think it's a cool thing to add, and just another way for us to hang out. And yes, the icon is an upside down croissant. It's the closest thing that looks like Tauren or horns to me. If you squint your eyes and look at it, it looks like it's orange looking, so it looks like a Tauren. So right now it's a croissant. Until I see a Tauren, we are the croissant crew and the Moo Crew. And
if you check our Twitter, I just tweeted that link for the Blizzard community, for the Tauren Think Tank community. It's also on the Tauren Think Tank Twitter @Tauren Think Tank. So there you go.
So that's the main thing. Expansion hits on Monday/Tuesday. I took off a couple days at work for next week, so I'm going to be in it to win it.
Yes.
Getting up to 120, and then I'm going to immediately start farming mounts because that's how I roll.
This is how we do it. This is how he does it, baby. Yeah, that's gonna be basically all my friends are gonna be like showing pictures of their leveling up food stash, because that's exactly what happens before every expansion, is that people tweet like, this is my food stash and my food and beverage stash that's sitting next to my computer, so I don't have to get up and eat anything.
Yep, I've got my mini fridge over there. I got the spare bed ready to go, so I don't even have to do, all I got to leave the room for is the bathroom, because I'm not that dedicated. I'm not putting a honey bucket over here or anything like that.
Oh gosh, thank you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to know that you are at least that well adjusted. Yay!
Dear lady, I have standards. They may not be very high, but I do in fact have them.
Well, I'm quite relieved. I will say that.
I will use the toilet like every good modern person.
So we will. We're actually going to hold off on scheduling our patron game night till later on in the month, so that we give a little room to Battle for Azeroth players to enjoy their time playing. So we'll be letting you guys know about our patron game night schedule, which will be probably towards the end of August. So. Awesome. What? Anything else?
No, that's about it. I hope to see you guys in game, and you can give me a holler in the and also Jill, she's in there too. Yeah, we'll kind of do that, and I'll see you in Azeroth.
Yes, you will. Most of you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
most of you. So for me, it'll be more podcasting, more work stuff, and go out there. If you're a Heroes of the Storm fan, please go out and subscribe to Heroes News with Joel Scott. That would be an amazing thing to help out. The numbers are definitely good for Heroes Hearth to see. So if you're subscribing and listening, please do so. That'd be amazing. And if you like the direct link, you can check my Twitter. Also go to heroeshearth.com, and there's a post there about it. All those things in there. Soon you'll be able to just go to iTunes and search for it. But currently right now, it's a pain in the butt, so you can't find it. But it's on Twitter. Yeah, it's on Twitter. It's posted at heroeshearth.com. It's all over my Twitter. So it's there. You just have to go find it. So other than that, we'll be preparing for another show next week. I'm going to be enjoying the Western Clash this weekend. So darn excited. It starts tomorrow, and I'm going to be parked in front of the monitor watching the entire weekend. So.
Oh, it's going to be good.
Yes, sir. And with that, we're going to bring this show to a close like we always do, just like this. And I forgot to play the sounder as I said that. Whoops. Tauren Think Tank is what am I doing? Tauren is supported by you, our fans. Thank you to each and every one of you who supports us every month on Patreon. If you'd like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/Tauren Think Tank.
Yep. And also, portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can also find us outside of the show on our website, and that's at taurenthinktank.com. You guessed it. What you can find there? Well, you can get all of our podcasts and also information on how to get in touch with us, too.
If you want to meet other members of the Triple T community, please join our Discord server. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2.
Yep. And you can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Tauren Think Tank. You can find us outside of the show on Twitter as well. You can find the show at Tauren Think Tank. You can find Jules at Jules RPG. And you can find me, Mark Conan, at Mark Conan Wow.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight. Hang out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central. You can find the live video stream on twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank, and that is how we recorded the show live. You can be a part of the chat room, hang out with the lovely people who populate our chat room every week, and be a part of the conversation as we're having it. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's a cool thing to do.
It is. The chat room is our third host, always.
Yep.
They are.
Always the third host, yes.
Mark Conan.
Jules.
For the Alliance.
For the Alliance.
Sorry, all you dirty Horde players. You ain't getting nothing from us. For the Alliance.
When Sarafang becomes war chief, then I will help you all out because he is awesome.
That's fair enough.
Respect that dude.
Respect. And so we'll be back next week, next Thursday. Have a great 7 days, and we will see you then. For myself, for Mark Conan, for the entire chat room. Until next time. /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
Moo.
Yep.
Moo. All right.
Moo.
I do not understand why we have had so many viewers today. Like, do you see the amount of viewers that are in the chat room tonight?
No, I don't. How many?
It went up to 70. We're at 64 right now.
Good grief. Hello, everybody.
I don't know what's going on. And there's not 70 users in the chat room, so we must be rebroadcast somewhere. I don't know, but thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. Do we get raided by somebody with a bunch?
No.
I don't know.
We didn't get a raid or anything. I just saw the numbers start like throughout the show. It just kept creeping up, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand. Like, we usually have like 2 times less the number of people watching. So if you are watching new, please hit the follow button. We go live every Thursday at 8:00 Central. This is Tauren Think Tank. It's our show about the lovely people behind the keyboard. Oh, is there?
Wow.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Oh, we're on the main CTR channel. Oh, and the town hall. Yeah, that's tonight, isn't it?
Is it tonight? Okay.
Yeah, I think it is.
Why would they be watching us then?
I don't know.
So I don't know why. That's probably why we're in there too. Is at least we were being auto hosted by CTR, so they must have passed it. I didn't see that there was no host though. It just said that we were being auto hosted by like 16. So thank you guys so much for being here. That was awesome.
Well, cool. Thanks for hanging out.
I gotcha. CTR Town Hall. Very cool. Yeah, I was watching the numbers climb up, and I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand. It's never this high. They're waiting on me. No, they're not.
Nope.
Nope, they're not. I don't do that work anymore. That's not my job anymore. But it's nice to see you all. It's so awesome to see you all. Thank you so much.
Thanks for hanging out. You can always join us every Thursday night.
Oh yeah.
When we come on the air.
Hit that follow button if you would, and it'll let you know that we're going live for the Alliance. Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely. I tell you what, I had so many chills down my spine at BlizzCon when we watched that cinematic after the Horde had their shining moment, and when Anduin did the mass res, I was like tearing up because it was so powerful. I was like, this is my king. And then picked up his sword and I was like, you need to say it. You better freaking say it. Say it. And he just belted it out. And I was like, yeah. It was just the best feeling. Love Nerd Christmas. I love Nerd Christmas every year.
It's only 3 months away now.
It is. It is less than it's 84 days.
Yes. It's so cool.
Cannot wait.
I'm so excited.
When do you get into town that week?
I just got my flight, and I arrive on Sunday.
Oh, wow,
so
nice.
I'm coming in early for a couple of days, spending some time with some folks, and then, so it's gonna be good. So I'm coming in on Sunday. I'm staying until the following Monday. It's gonna be cool. That'll be my little vacation time.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like Battle for Azeroth has been far, far, far away for so long, and now it's only 3 days away. That's just crazy.
Yeah. You just, I at work, we got the shipment in of the physical copies. And so I have a picture of me holding the collector's edition. I'm just like,
you're like, hi.
And one of these is mine. I pre-ordered one of them. One of them are mine, but I can't take you home yet. It's like, oh, I love you. I can't wait to. No, I can't. I have to wait till Tuesday. No, but I need to hold. I need to get this stuff out. No. But I pre-ordered I did the digital classic or digital standard version, so I could get the allied races. So once they flip it over, I'm gonna just march straight into Kul Tiras and get as far as I can, and then like Tuesday morning, I'll go get it, and I'm gonna buy a copy of Infinity War because it comes out on Tuesday too.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm gonna have the game here, and I'm gonna have Infinity War here on the other monitor, and it's just gonna be a good old couple days. Can't wait.
That's gonna be awesome. I'm looking to see who else is streaming since we have so many people. I'll give someone a nice beefy host. Let's see. Oh, there's World of Warcraft.
Nice beefy host. Oh, what's our title going to be?
Oh yeah, we need a show title.
Yeah.
Draven.
Draven's got a bunch of them. Let's see.
Y'all know if anybody from the CTR community is streaming right now? I'm looking, but
maybe I feel better.
Oh shoot, I lost the chat room from doing that. I feel better. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, Draven, your list did go through. We just kind of got sidetracked.
We did.
And then
yeah, let me do that first.
I do have the list. Jules, do you want me to, or do you want to repaste the list?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I feel better is a good one.
I feel better.
Sorry, I don't have the chat room up for a second here. So don't say anything, people. Let's see. Twitch. There's my dashboard.
I think I may like stay up late Sunday night and then sleep in on Monday because I have Sunday and Monday off already. Then I'll have Tuesday and Wednesday off as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I may just stay up late Sunday night, sleep in on Monday, so that way I can get up and be ready to go at 5:00 my time when they turn the servers on.
You're gonna be like, yeah, and then of course it's gonna be like, wait a minute, things aren't working right.
Everything's broken. It's just like the mop release. Everybody's stuck on the Zeppelin. Why? Like, that was so friggin' frustrating.
Y'all have anybody out there in the CTR community who's currently streaming that I could host? Suggestions, please. I don't have anybody followed on this account, so it's hard for me to tell.
Yeah, I was going to say there's someone on stackup.org that is streaming. That's the only one that I'm seeing on my followed channels. Is the town hall over already? Or
maybe.
Yeah, Draven, you can send me a few tips. I know one tip is to enable war mode because at least for the first few days, we're not going to see the other side very much. So except for like when you do a mission where you have to go to their island and set up a base, or like like a breadcrumb point or whatever it is, like a little single insertion point. I'm going to turn off war mode for that just because I know I'm going to get swamped. But yeah, any other tips, dude, send them my way because I am ready to run and get up to 120 ASAP because there's a few mounts that we can farm up. Yeah, that's going to happen. I'm going to be farming those guys up. Night, Draven. Thanks for the title, sir.
Thank you. Enjoy Critical Role.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for somebody to send a host to.
Darkmoon Fair and Silithus Hearth.
Dun, dun, dun. Who's out there who's streaming that I recognize?
Why a Silithus Heart? What does that have to do with it? Well, I guess one thing. Oh yeah. I could get the. You can get the Darkmoon Fair. Oh, he starts BFA. Oh, I gotcha. You can get your Darkmoon Fair buff because that ends on Sunday. So just don't log into my character again.
Right.
Till Monday when it's about to hit, and then I get that extra 10% boost. Is that what you were saying, Draven? Or is that what you mean? Because that's a good idea.
I don't see anybody from the CTR community that is streaming, so I'm going to send this over to, let's see, send us over to a nice person.
To a nice person.
Yui's great. I like her.
Sounds good.
So we're gonna head out and say hi to Yui then, and let her know we've sent a nice little love note. They don't know who we are, but that's okay. Oh. And so if Convert to Raid comes on, you can stay with them. So thank you guys so much, and we'll talk to you soon. /moo.
We will, guys. /moo, guys. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on the other side of Battle for Azeroth.
Bye.